Have you ever wanted to do a timeline jump or a quantum leap, essentially to change your reality in a very short period of time? That ability is completely available to you at all times. First of all, I want to say that. And doing a timeline jump and a quantum leap really is one of the best ways to actually change your reality, like I said, in a very short period of time. However, there is a lot of misconception about what it really means to do that. And what I see people doing is trying to achieve that it not going the way they thought it would, and so they're not able to follow through. They're not actually able to make the changes that they want to change. So, what I want to discuss briefly in this video today is what actually happens when you do a quantum leap or a timeline jump. What happens energetically? Because remember, this is an energy game first and foremost. And once you understand the energetics of a timeline jump or quantum leap, you will understand why it's probably not going to go the way you hoped it would, or wanted it to, or thought it would. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways you can initiate a timeline jump, a quantum leap. I won't get into all of those, but taking different actions, clearing something energetically. There's a whole list of things you can do to initiate a quantum leap, which basically means you're changing your reality, right? So you've done that now. You've initiated. Now, what most people think that I have observed over the years is that when they do that, new things are going to start to come in, their reality is going to start to shift and just kind of transition into this new thing, right? New opportunities come in, some particular situation will start to shift, right? And it does, but that is not what happens at first. Okay, so I want to talk about what happens after you make the change. Like I said, whether it's a clearing of a block or it's a new decision, okay? So, the way reality works right now, how you are right now in this present moment, is that you send out a signal at all times, an energetic signal. And there's a number of different things that determine your energetic signal. But just know that you are always sending out a signal, right? And the signal instructs quantum particles all around you to start moving in a certain direction, in a certain way, a certain speed, a certain cadence, all these different things, okay? Now, what most people do is that they make the same decisions day after day, year after year, like decade after decade, right? And their life doesn't change much. Now, when that happens, the quantum particles are always still moving, even though you could feel stuck. You could feel like, even if you feel like your life isn't moving, the quantum particles are always moving. They're just moving in the same direction, right? And those quantum particles are creating a reality, right? You send a signal out, you signal to the quantum, right, to the field. The particles all shift around and out comes your reality, right? Obviously, it's a simple way of looking at it, but it's very powerful when you realize how simple it is in some ways. So most people make the same decisions, think the same way, have the same beliefs, don't clear any blocks, don't look at their ancestry, don't look at anything. So they send out a very similar signal year after year, right? Their reality doesn't change much. Now, when you do that, when you send out the same signal, do the same things over and over again, it feels stable, right? You probably recognize is that your life can feel very, very stable. You may not love it, you may feel stuck, you may love parts of it, who really knows? But it feels very stable and very consistent. Now, that doesn't mean that your life is necessarily what you want it to be, or it doesn't also mean that your life is stable just because it feels stable. This is really, really important to note. It feels stable because the quantum particles are moving in a predictable pattern over and over and over again. So your life feels stable. And let me reiterate this because this is so incredibly important. Just because your life feels stable, it doesn't mean it is at all. At all. All it means is you've been making the same decisions, you've been the same person, the same identity, you're not clearing any blocks, you're not doing anything different. Like you're not actually changing your life in any way. So the quantum particles just respond to you and it's the same pattern over and over and over again. Now, what happens when you initiate that timeline jump or that quantum leap? Okay, you've done something different, whether it's a different decision, like I said, cleared a block, there's something that's shifted, right? Usually you're conscious of what you've shifted, right? Different decision, different action, something's changed. Now, when you do that, when you make that shift within you, you make the decision, you take the action, you clear the energy block, whatever it is, What happens is the quantum particles, if you could almost think of them if they had little personalities, they're like, oh my goodness, something's changed. They've done something different. All right, guys, soldier up. We got to change our patterns. So immediately when you make that decision, like I said, that step that you take, all the quantum particles just go through and they start rearranging. They just go in completely different directions because you made an entirely new decision. They just do whatever they have to do. They have to completely rearrange themselves. Now, to the human going through that experience, it doesn't feel comfortable. It feels disorienting. It can feel incredibly unstable. All your fears and doubts are going to come up because you feel unstable. You're going to start questioning your decisions because you feel unstable. Okay? After you make a quantum leap, you will feel unstable. You will feel uncertain. You will feel like your whole reality is shifting. And it doesn't necessarily mean it was not the right decision for you. It also doesn't mean it was the right decision for you. All it means is that you have now changed your energetic signal. The quantum particles are all moving around and you can feel it. It's all that is. You can feel the quantum particles moving and it feels, like I said, disorienting. You can feel like, who am I? I don't understand things. Like, what do I do next? Like, your human mind is going to try to understand and interpret what's going on. Like, what is going on? Did I make the right decision? What can I do now? Oh my God, I got to do something. And actually, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to step back, go into nature, meditate, like do something while the quantum particles are rearranging themselves. And what I'm going to tell you is that I don't want to say it's not easy, but it's not easy. I just contradicted myself. I don't ever like to suggest things are going to be hard at all. But I'm also aware that if I tell you it's a piece of cake and it's a walk in the park, if it's not for you, like if it's not a walk in the park, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong, right? I know how humans operate. It's disorienting. Like, that is the best word. If I could come up with the best word, it's like disorienting. And you will question whether you've made the right decision. You will question you'll feel so unstable. Now, again, this is not saying whether it was the right decision or not. Any decision you make, you're going to feel unstable. It could be the best decision of your life that you just made. You could do a massive step that you were scared, but you're like, well, this is it. And all of a sudden you feel unstable. You're like, was it the right one? Well, because you feel unstable is not an indicator of whether it was the right one or not. So I can't tell you whether it was or not by the fact that you were unstable feeling. What I can tell you is you will feel stable in your life when you do not make new decisions, simply because the quantum particles don't ever change their pattern. And you will begin to feel unstable when you change your patterns, your decisions, clear your blocks. You will feel unstable. That's all I can tell you. Whether one is stable or not, whether one is the best and highest good for you or not, I can't say. But you have to expect to feel this period where you recalibrate. That's what recalibration is. You are now moving into a new pattern. Eventually, the quantum particles, they stop doing their thing. They start moving around and changing so much. They settle into a new pattern. Your life begins to change. New things come into your reality, which is what you want. But most people cannot stay in that in-between phase when the quantum particles are rearranging and they don't see the results yet. Most people run back to their old reality because even though they may not have liked it, it's stable. So if you change your mind on a decision, if you go back to your old patterns, if you go back to your old beliefs, you somehow go back, which majority of people do, the quantum particles go, oh, okay, we're going back to the way we were. They rearrange to the old pattern and you feel stable again because you're used to the way they used to move, right? It's very familiar with you. And you're like, oh, this is stable. This is great. And you will feel good for a while because you feel stable. But let's face it, if you were wanting to make a quantum leap, you were trying to do a timeline jump, you were doing it because you weren't happy. Even though it was stable, you wanted more. And people can stay in this cycle for decades. They do the thing, they take the chance, and they feel unsteady. They feel, they feel like they feel very shaky, and they go back and they go back and they go back and back and back and back. This can go on for decades because until you have the strength, the perseverance, and understand what's going on, and you are able to hold yourself during the time when the quantum particles are doing their weird little dance and they're changing all around, that's the critical time. You have to hold. And it can be, depending on what you've done, it can take a couple months to rearrange the particles and for everything to start to land and move its way through. It can take a day. It can take 2 days. It can take months. Like there's no like formula on what's going to do this or it's going to do that, right? It's all unique to your energetic blueprint and the energetic signals you are sending out. This is why I do what I do, because it isn't easy to be able to hold yourself in faith. Like you can't go back, not if you want to change your life, right? You've got to become the stability within the instability of those quantum particles. That's what you have to do as a person if you want a quantum leap, if you want to massively change your life, if you want to go to the next level. So if you're looking for support, absolutely, I'm going to put the link down below to fill out a form. Let me know where you're at, because what I know for sure, and this is from me experience, I have hired so many mentors and so much help over the years, is you can get there much faster when you have somebody holding it with you, right? So when you have those moments of doubt, what I actually do with my long-term clients, meaning more than just one session, is I use an app where we do voice messaging back and forth. So it's not just the sessions that people work with me, we have voice messaging or texting too, obviously. And so when you have those moments, when you're going through this and you're wanting to regress to the old way, you're wanting to regress to the old patterns, this is where we connect in, we anchor you, root you in, we help you calibrate, stay solid, stay in this, because there's just a lot going on when you make them quantum leap. And like I said, I think most people think it's just this lovely little, ooh, sounds kind of fun and sexy, right? And it is, but there is a process within that. And if you don't know what that process is, it's unlikely you will make the leap. This is what I know, and this is not me trying to be discouraging, but I've seen this enough times that instability is more than most people can tolerate. Their risk tolerance isn't usually enough to be able to stay in that long enough for that quantum leap, that new timeline to really anchor in, because it has to anchor. Making the jump is just step one. Anchoring it, that's a whole different level. It's a whole different level. All right, beautiful soul. I'm going to put the links down below here. Please like, share, subscribe if this is helpful, this has helped you, or any of my videos have helped you along the way. It really helps me. And it's important, of course, in the new paradigm to have that energy exchange, right? So I do provide a lot of content for free. So an energy exchange is much appreciated. All right, beautiful soul. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.